Have you ever regretted going to school? Have you ever felt like you wasted your time by going to school? Or how many of you are doing what you studied in school right now in your life? Let me tell you a story about Steve. Steve was born a sickler into a poor polygamous family in the western part of Nigeria. When he was a teenager, he kept wondering why in school he was being taught on how to be an employee. He was being encouraged to have good grades and do well in mathematics so that he will be employed, he will find a job. At age 15, he bought an old bicycle and rented to his friends to pay 10 naira for every 5 minutes ride. He saw how much money he could make and how it was bigger than the pocket money his father was giving him. That was when he fell in love with entrepreneurship. Fast forward to a couple of years later, when he was studying accounting in a polytechnic in the West as well, and he was a good student in accounting. He kept wondering why he was being taught to calculate big money that doesn't belong to him. And then he decided to quit school and become an entrepreneur at age 21. Right now, he has succeeded. He's been in the game for about 10 years. He's a successful entrepreneur. He has YouTube channels that are successful. He has about 3 businesses or more that are successful, and he's so passionate about this school that keeps wasting people's time. And then he wrote this book titled 13 Secrets School Did Not Teach You About Making Money, and that is what I want to share with you today. I'm going to share with you 3 top lessons I learned from that book. I'm going to link the book in the description box and also in the comment section. It is totally free, about 84 pages, is an easy read. He gave it out free of charge just so that we can spread the word, and I'm here spreading the word as well because I feel the same way he feels. Alright, let me go into the 3 top lessons I learned from that book. Number 1 top lesson: school is not as important as we think it is. In the 18th century, long time ago, school was probably important at that time because the era was industrial era. There were so many factories and there are so many people that were needed to mass produce, that were needed to work in these factories and industries. So there had to be a way of training people to be able to work in these places. There had to be a way of making people obedient, of structuring people, teaching them how to behave and how to get a job. At that time, it made sense because there are jobs. If you are going to own a company, you are going to need thousands of people to make that business successful. But now, that school system that worked at the time is not valuable, is not useful for our era, because this is the information and technology era. This is the automation era, where so many companies have figured out how to work without people. Let me ask you about the bank. In those days, we used to go to the bank to withdraw money because human beings would be the ones to bring out the money, count it and give to us. At the time, bank needed people to do this kind of thing for them. Until ATM came, and ATM works better than human beings, is more accurate, and it works 24 hours. So people start losing their jobs in the bank because now there is ATM. Have you noticed how these days banks discourage people from coming to the bank? They tell you if you can do it online, why come to the bank? They tell you you don't have to come to the bank, do self-service. There are so many options. Now tell me, will banks employ as much people as they used to before? Of course not. That is just bank. So why is school still teaching us how to be employees? Why not teach people how to create businesses, how to create jobs, instead of teaching people how to get jobs that are no longer available in this era? Doesn't that make more sense? Lesson number 2, I learned the true meaning of education. And that true meaning of education is going to help me become a better parent. Now, according to www.dictionary.com, education is the process of acquiring general knowledge, developing the powers of reasoning and judgment, and generally of preparing oneself intellectually for mature life. So education, according to that definition, has to do with acquiring knowledge, has to do with being prepared for the future, being prepared for a mature life. Did school really prepare us for the future? Did school really prepare us for the reality of life? True education is in doing, is in observing in the real life. If you want to learn how to drive, would you rather be in class taking notes on driving, or be in a vehicle watching someone drive and later driving? If you want to learn how to cook, would you be in class taking notes about cooking, or would you be watching someone who is actually cooking and then afterwards cook for yourself? So you see, our school is just theory. I'm not saying that theory is not important. I'm only saying that true education is 90% of practice and 10% of theory. But in our school, it's the other way around. And how will this make me a better parent? It will make me a better parent because when I have my own kids, I'll see what they're interested in and how they behave. And I'll help them establish on the paths that I'm seeing them show interest. I'll take them to places. I'll take them to things. Take them to experience the real life. If I want to teach them about the sea, about the beach, I'll take them to the beach. If I want to teach them about street lights, I'll take them to where there are street lights. I won't force anybody to go to school where it's only mathematics and English that is important. I will let them just, work on what they truly want to be. And I think that is how each and every one of us should treat our kids, should treat anybody. And share this video with a parent who is currently forcing his or her child to go to school. Share this video with such a parent that is forcing somebody at this era to go to school when the person wants to either be a musician, a footballer, and other things. Now, the third lesson is, if you know deep down in your heart you have the entrepreneurial spirit, you know that deep down in your heart you want to start a business, please do not kill that spirit. Please wake up. Do that thing that you know you want to do. Do that business that you know you want to do. And that will help us eradicate poverty from Africa. If more people can begin to create jobs, if more people can embrace entrepreneurship and create more job opportunities for those who are coming out of school, then we will gradually be able to make almost everybody provide for their basic needs. It's not going to be easy. Remember that Steve was born a sickler. Steve had health challenges. Steve is from a poor background, or was from a poor background. Steve did not have any of his family members support his desire to drop out of school and pursue entrepreneurship, because that is something we hear a lot here in my country, Nigeria. They're like, hey, you want to do this? Oh, don't worry, just finish school first. When you finish school, you can now do that. Heck, do you know how long it takes somebody to finish school here? Especially with the strike and everything. Let's say you are 24 or 25 and you finish school. You now do NYSC, that they will not take you the next year. Then when will you be able to start pursuing entrepreneurship? Because that thing is not even easy. You have to make mistakes, you have to fall, you have to just do a lot of wrong things before you get it right. That is the ideal. And then you're telling me to go to school first and learn something that has absolutely nothing to do with what I want to do with my life. Does that even make sense? That does not even make sense. So please, if you know you have the spirit of entrepreneurship in you and you are still very young, in fact, if you just left secondary school and you are struggling to write JAMB and get admission, please have a year gap between secondary school and university. Have a year gap, and that year gap is not for you to just while away your time. It's for you to explore, work in a restaurant, work as a cashier, work as a salesperson, as a receptionist, work, explore, do stuff and figure out where you are being drawn to. I'm not saying that going to school, especially if you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, there are some career paths that entails you to go to school. You must go to school. If you're in that category, fine, go to school. But if not, please do not waste your time going to the university. Just get on to your life. Okay? So back to my initial question. Do you sometimes feel like you wasted your time in the university? If you do have these feelings, if you do have these emotions, please let us know in the comment section, because you'll be surprised that you're not alone. I am with you. I don't know what I went to school to do. So don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody that is forcing another person to go to school. Share it with somebody that is shaming people who did not go to school, who are there grinding and learning. Share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload an amazing video like this that I'm sure you will like. Thanks for watching.